It was one of those nights where the world seemed to press down on his shoulders like a heavy boulder. Amir, a single father in his mid-30s, sat in the tiny kitchen of his one-bedroom apartment, staring at the pile of unpaid bills scattered across the table. His daughter, Noor, barely 10 years old, was sleeping in the next room, her breathing soft and steady, a fragile reminder of why he kept pushing forward no matter how impossible life felt. The flickering bulb above his head buzzed faintly, and the sound of distant traffic seeped through the cracked window. Amir's phone buzzed. It was a message from the part-time job agency he worked for, urgent, temporary interpreter needed tomorrow morning. High-paying. Must be fluent in Japanese. Amir's brows furrowed. Japanese? It was his hidden skill, one he had kept buried for years since his days working in Tokyo before his wife passed away. He didn't want to think about Japan. The memories hurt too much. But rent was due, Noor needed new shoes, and his fridge was nearly empty. With a sigh, he replied, "I can do it." The next morning, Amir found himself in the lobby of a towering glass skyscraper in the heart of the city. The company name gleamed in gold letters, Hirano Global Enterprises. The receptionist, a young woman with a crisp smile, directed him to the 54th floor. The elevator ride felt endless, his reflection in the mirrored walls staring back at him, faded shirt, patched jacket, tired eyes. But behind those eyes was a man who had once stood confidently in boardrooms halfway across the world. As the doors opened, Amir stepped into a world of polished marble floors, hushed whispers, and the faint scent of expensive cologne. The meeting room he was led into was massive, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Seated at the head of the table was a man who radiated power, tall, broad-shouldered, with sharp eyes that missed nothing. This was Ryo Hirano, the billionaire CEO whose face graced business magazines. He didn't look up immediately, instead signing papers with swift, precise strokes. "You're the interpreter?" he finally asked without a smile. Amir nodded. "Good. Let's see if you can handle this. Translate this document." He slid a folder across the table. Amir glanced at it, instantly recognizing the complex legal Japanese filled with idioms and business slang most native speakers struggled with. His mind clicked into gear. Amir's voice was steady as he translated each line, not just word for word but with cultural nuance. Ryo watched him closely, his expression unreadable. Halfway through, the CEO leaned back, a faint smirk tugging at his lips. "Interesting. You're better than I expected." "How's this for motivation?" Ryo leaned forward, his voice dropping. "I'll double your pay if you can translate this one without a single mistake." He slid a second document over, this one even more intricate, with coded phrases and references to an ongoing billion-dollar merger. Amir felt the weight of the challenge. This wasn't just language, this was chess. Every word mattered. As he worked, memories of Tokyo flooded back, his late wife, Hannah, teaching him the delicate differences in honorifics, the way her laughter had lit up rainy days. His throat tightened, but he kept his focus razor-sharp. 20 minutes later, he finished, placing the translated version in front of Ryo. The CEO scanned it silently, then looked up. "Flawless," he said at last. "Most professionals would have failed." "Where did you learn?" Amir hesitated. "Life taught me." Ryo's gaze lingered on him, almost as if he could see the storms Amir had weathered. "You're wasted in small jobs. I have a proposal. Work for me full-time. Your salary will be triple what you earn now." Amir blinked. This was unreal. But before he could answer, the glass doors swung open. Two sharply dressed men entered, speaking in rapid Japanese, their tones urgent. Amir caught the words, "contract breach, lawsuit, possible betrayal" from inside. Ryo turned to Amir. "Translate. Now." The room's air grew tense. What Amir translated next would change his life forever. Chapter 2. The moment the words left the two men's mouths and Amir translated them, the atmosphere in the room shifted from cold professionalism to explosive tension. Ryo Hirano's jaw tightened. "Are you certain?" he demanded in Japanese. The taller of the two men nodded grimly. "We have evidence." Someone from within your executive circle has been leaking confidential information to your competitors. If we don't act now, the merger could collapse and we could lose billions. Amir's translation was steady, but his pulse was racing. He wasn't just translating now, he was holding the bridge between two worlds of power, each word a detonator waiting to go off. Rio's eyes snapped to Amir. You understand how sensitive this is. If you make one wrong interpretation, this company's future changes. Amir nodded. He'd never felt more alive, more needed. Over the next hour, the room became a storm of accusations, counter-arguments, and rapid-fire legal jargon. Amir kept pace, translating each sentence with surgical precision. His mind worked like a machine, but his heart ached as he realized this wasn't just a job, it was a battlefield. When the meeting ended, Rio called Amir into his private office. The room was minimalist yet intimidating, with a panoramic view of the city skyline. You didn't just translate, Rio said, pouring himself a glass of whiskey. You navigated politics, law, and ego. That's rare. And I need rare. He walked over, placing the glass on his desk. I'll make you my personal interpreter and cultural advisor. Full benefits. Enough salary to send your daughter to the best schools. The mention of Noor caught Amir off guard. How do you know about my daughter? Rio smirked. I do my homework. I don't hire blindly. For a long moment, Amir hesitated. The offer was tempting, almost unreal. But he knew working this close to a billionaire meant stepping into a life where mistakes could cost more than money, they could cost lives. He accepted. The weeks that followed were unlike anything Amir had experienced. Private jets. High-stakes negotiations in Tokyo, Seoul, and New York. Late-night strategy meetings where secrets were traded like currency. But with every success, the shadows grew darker. He overheard whispers of corruption, of deals made with dangerous people. And one night, while in Tokyo for a critical meeting, Amir stumbled upon a conversation that froze his blood. A man he'd never seen before was speaking in Japanese on the phone, mentioning Noor's name and threatening what would happen if Rio didn't back down from the merger. Panic clawed at his chest. The job that had saved him might now be the very thing that endangered his daughter. The next morning, he confronted Rio. The billionaire's face was stone. I know, Rio said quietly. They're coming after me, and they'll use anyone I care about to break me. That's why I hired you. I need someone I can trust, not just with words, but with lives. He slid a file across the desk. Inside were documents proving that the rival company was backed by a criminal syndicate. Help me take them down, Rio said, and I'll make sure Noor is untouchable. The final showdown came in a Tokyo boardroom, filled with men who had knives behind their smiles. Every phrase was a trap, every word a test of loyalty and skill. Amir stood beside Rio, translating flawlessly, twisting their own words back against them until they had no choice but to concede. When it was over, Rio clasped Amir's shoulder. You just saved billions, and my life. I owe you more than money. Months later, Amir was back home, tucking Noor into bed. She asked, Daddy, will we be okay now? He smiled, brushing her hair back. We're more than okay, Noor. We're safe. And sometimes, the right words can be more powerful than the biggest armies.